Yo, what's going on, y'all? This is Marcus Rosa, aka Mazuma TV, back at y'all with some more boxing talk, man. I hope everybody's having a blessed, beautiful, positive, productive night. I hope you had a great day overall, man. I'm back at y'all with some more boxing talk, man. We're gonna speak about Calvin Forrest's statements in regards to Lamont Roach being a nobody before the Tank fight. We definitely gonna speak on that. We're gonna speak about Bill Haney taking Brian Norman Jr.'s sparring partners in the lead up to their fight November 22nd. Then, of course, we're going to get into some open boxing topics or even open topics overall. If y'all want to chop it up about anything else, you feel what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that's in the building thus far. If y'all could go ahead and hit the like button on the way in, that'd be very much appreciated. We on the road to 4K. We well into the 3,100 mark. About to hit that 3,200 mark in due time. Shout out to the nation and the mob for making this possible. I did not go live yesterday. You know what I mean? I was just kicking back with the wifey. You feel what I'm saying? It was all good. But I'm back today, man. So we definitely got some things to talk about. You feel what I mean? Shout out to Yasir Ali with the first comment of the day. What up, brother? Marissa, what's going on, Marissa? How you doing? Coffee Plant, what up? What's going on, brother? How you feeling? Yasir Ali said, who you got? Boots or Lima? You already know who I got, brother. Do we really need to talk about that? I helped Boots out for this camp, man. Why wouldn't I root for my brother, man? I still got mine. Leave it there. Sorry. I helped Boots out for this camp. You know what I mean? I got him some southpaw work. So why wouldn't I be rooting for him, brother? Come on, man. Y'all gotta remember I do this outside of YouTube, man. I really do this. Marlon 2631, what up? Coffee, my weekend was cool. I can't really complain, bro. I had my son, you know what I mean? I had to drop him off earlier today, unfortunately, but I was able to see my grandparents. They finally came down from Puerto Rico, so that was dope to see them. They spent time with my son and shit like that. So it was a cool time. It was definitely a cool time. How everything go with you, Coffee? What you was getting into? You've been playing it quiet lately, man. What's going on? Lamont, what up? What's going on, Lamont? How we feeling? Drop y'all cities in the chat, man. Drop y'all cities in the chat. Got some things that we need to discuss. We're going to talk about this. Coach Calvin Ford interview. You feel what I mean? We definitely gonna speak about that. You know what I mean? And before, this ain't gonna be no type of criticism towards Coach Calvin Ford. I mean, I got a lot of respect for Coach Calvin, to be honest with you, just considering, what he's been through in his life with the jail sentences. You know what I mean? How he was able to make a complete 180 in his life and, build a champion from the ground up. That's something that very few coaches are capable of doing throughout their tenure. You feel what I'm saying? Coffee said he got Lima over Boots. What? Damn, Coffee. Okay. Yeah, seriously, I got Boots by unanimous decision. You got Boots winning by decision. Based off of what I've seen, I don't think it's going the distance. Marlon in the building snapping. That's 22. What up? He said, "Hey, Coach Calvin, that nobody whoop Tank ass. Everybody and nobody until they somebody." I agree with that last part for sure. Everybody's a nobody until there's somebody. That's a fact. You know what I mean? He said Lima gonna be too awkward for Boots. I don't really think that Lima's an awkward boxer though, to be honest with you. When you really assess, Lima like he's a volume puncher for one. He like to apply pressure, and it's not like his combinations are unorthodox or anything like that. To be real with you, I do think he's a bit robotic. I think he's a bit stiff, especially when he throws punches. He don't really have any type of upper body movement. You know what I'm saying? So, and he has a lot of flaws defensively. I'm going to say that for sure. I think he's going to leave a lot of openness for Boots to counter. And the way that he falls over on that right hand, that's very, very dangerous. Especially for especially if you're going up against Boots, who could easily convert to a southpaw. That could be a very dangerous situation, bro, where you're running into a straight left hand, you're running into a left uppercut. You know what I mean? It's just a very bad John. You know what I mean? So I was really watching Lima. I was actually watching Lima while I was at the gym with Boots and them. That was the first time I really got the time to watch him because I had some downtime or whatever. And I was like, okay, Lima got some dog. He got good conditioning. He's strong. He definitely got the mental right. Just determined. You know what I mean? Got a lot of will. But I can see how he could beat dudes. You feel what I'm saying? Because if you're not really ready to fight, like in the ring, like if you're not really ready to rumble a nigga up off you, you could have a long night with him. I get it. You feel what I mean? And maybe he's a bit more complex than the eyes could see. Because it's always different when you in the ring. You know what I mean? It's always different. Like I remember situations where I watch dudes spar and I'm like, man, like I don't know, like I'm not really impressed by a dude. And then I work with him. I'm like, oh, okay, so he's a bit more difficult than what it looks like from the outside. You never really know what somebody's capable of until you have a direct experience with that person, especially in terms of boxing. So maybe Lima is a bit more complicated than the eyes, are able to see. You know what I mean? That's for Boots will be able to figure that out, the night of the fight. You know what I'm saying? But based off of what I've seen from Lima, you know what I mean, especially like in the loss he took, I don't really hold that too much over his head. Because at the end of the day, he fought at a weight class that he wasn't really at. And he fought on late notice. So that just lets you know that Lima really believes in himself. So that just goes back to the mental strength, his mental fortitude, his confidence. That's definitely a great attribute to have. It's not necessarily going to win a fight, but it could definitely propel your chances of winning the fight. You feel what I mean? So we got that fight coming up this weekend, man. I'm very, very happy. August 10th, the day before. August 10th. Jesus Christ. October 10th, the day before Jerron Ennis's fight, we have an amateur show at Pivot Boxing Academy. If y'all are in or around the tri-state area, please come by. You know what I mean? Show love, 2807 North 6th Street, Philadelphia, PA, 19133. Floor 2, you know what I mean? We on the second floor. And man, we're gonna have, between 15 to 20 amateur fights, going on that night. I mean, if you ain't got shit to do Friday night, stop by. Fights start at 7 p.m. You know what I mean? And if y'all want to see the Mazuma mob do their thing, you gotta come out, man. There's gonna be some great fights going on. He said fight week for Baba Yaga. Shout out to Denitric Banner. What up? Barack. He says, I am African, rooting for my boy Lima, but Boots will still win by a landslide. Shout out to Barack. I like the fact that people could come on here and speak their piece, you know what I mean, and say who they gonna root for, you know what I mean, and nobody get upset. You feel what I mean? Everybody got their opinions. Everybody got who they rooting for. People had their predictions. It's not like this ain't a yes man comment section because I've definitely seen that. You know what I mean? I've definitely seen yes man comment sections where they'll hear whatever, like the person who's leading, like the live, which would be me. Like they'll say something and then everybody in the comments will be like, yeah, man, you're right, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man, you're right, man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm like, bro, you was just saying like 5 minutes ago that you was rooting for the other bull. The bull on the live is saying another opinion. Now you rocking with his opinion, bro. Just be yourself. Be yourself, bro. I promise you'll get more respect just being yourself. Let me get a tissue real quick. Hold on. Let me see something real quick. Look at the shirt I got on, by the way. Look at that shirt I got on, by the way. Let's go, champ. Pro up there, what up? No, I'm not sick, bro. It's the cat hair, bro. Um, he said take that off. No, I'll be cleaning my crib. You know what I mean? And like I'll be cleaning the chairs, vacuuming and all that shit. And when I get to cleaning that cat hair, bro, my nigga. Hassan said it should be easy for Boots. I mean, listen, man, I'm not going to necessarily say it's easy. We just going to have to wait to see. You feel what I mean? But I do think Lima is going to leave a lot of opportunities for Boots to land big shots on him. You know what I mean? And the fact that Boots don't got to look for him, you know, on top of that, that's going to be, you know, something's bound to happen. Like, you don't get somebody as sharp offensively as Jerron Ennis come forward against him and think you're not going to get hit. You feel what I mean? Unless a motherfucker gets sparked off the rip, you're going to take some damage. You feel me? He said, why I buy that shirt? I thought it was a cool job, man. Listen, I thought it was a cool shirt. I never seen nobody with this shirt, so I was like, fuck it. But I bought this shirt a long time ago. This is way before like that Jake Paul announcement and shit like that. Thought it was a cool shirt. Let me see. My boy Ralph in the building said like the Billy and Lester fight. I thought Billy was gonna win, and you picked Lester to win. Shit, well, we were both wrong because it was a draw, right? But I do think if they rematch, I think Lester will win in the rematch. That's what I think. Blaze pound for pound TV. What up? He said Lima takes too many punches. Boots is gonna stop him. I mean that. I'm telling you, bro. What I seen, that little bit of shit that I was seeing in the gym with Boots that one day, looks very fast, very strong, very sharp. Now people don't really understand what it means. What does it mean when you're sharp? It's just when your mind's clicking on all cylinders. You feel what I'm saying? It's like you see something, you respond immediately, you counter immediately, like all around the board. Like, how is your brain operating? Is your mind just like a bit delayed, or are you just catching things as soon as they come? Like Boots is very sharp in that way. He's a sharp puncher as well, but he's sharp in the mind. You feel what I mean? So he looks like he's in a good place. Looks very strong. Look like he's gonna acclimate to the division quite easily, to be honest with you. And man, I think Lima in trouble, bro. You don't underestimate nobody in boxing. You feel what I mean? But based off of what I've seen, Boots is gonna be in a different type of mode, man. Now I did see somebody. Anonymous said we disagree a lot in boxing, and that's okay as long as we maintain respect. Everything is all good. That's a fact. That's the difference between us and a lot of these other channels. You know what I mean? Because if you voice a different opinion, even if you could be totally respectful, you could voice a totally different opinion and they'll kick you out or they'll block you. It's like, what the fuck? Now, if you on here, you disagreeing, but you being disrespectful and you challenging the person instead of the argument, you bound to get packed. You know what I mean? Like you bound to get packed. So it's like you just gotta keep things, you know what I mean? Keep shit cool. And you know, even if we get into a heated debate or whatever, as long as you keeping it cool, we cool. Because heated debates can't happen while being respectful. Because you could be passionate about the subject. Anonymous know what I'm talking about. Anonymous been around. He already know. Oh, damn. I had somebody ask me something. Shout out to Braden Golson, though. Said, what's up from Mississippi? Shout out to Mississippi, man. Mercer said, am I going to watch the fight on Saturday? I'm watching it at the crib. I got my son, so I'm watching it at the crib. You feel me? I just wish one of these fights landed on the weekend where I don't have my son, which is only one weekend out of the month, to be honest, out of most months. Sometimes it's two. But damn, I'll be wishing like, damn, these y'all always fall on weekends where I got my son. You know what I mean? So said who I got, Haney or Norman? I got Haney winning by unanimous decision. I think that Haney's overall experience is going to carry him a long way in this fight. I think Norman, he's dangerous. He got good punching power, good timing, good counter punching ability overall. But I do think that Devin Haney's world-class jab is going to play a huge factor in this fight, along with his hand speed and him just being in and out. Like, I could just see him, being mobile. You know what I mean? Picking, stopping at the drop of a dime, getting combinations off, turning Norman. And I can see Norman just, trying his best coming forward. But I don't think he lands that big shot on Haney in this fight. Now, if he lands that big shot on Haney and Haney goes out, then, kudos to the Normans for, doing so. They just had too much firepower for him. But I do think that Devin Haney's the more experienced fighter. I think that's going to play a part. Just like how I told y'all Benavidez Morel, I thought Benavidez experience was going to take over, and I think that actually played a factor as to why Benavidez won. I think, Devin Haney's foot speed, even though, we're not saying that Brian Norman's stuck in the mud or don't got, good feet, but, I think that Devin Haney, he may not be a stronger fighter than Brian Norman, but he's definitely the quicker fighter in my opinion. I just think that Norman's going to be trying to come forward. I just see him running into some shit. And to be honest with you, I think people are going to be really under. Everybody keep talking about Brian Norman power. I don't think enough people are going to be talking about, because like Devin's not this one punch knockout artist like Norman. It's just, it is what it is. Some people built like that, some people not. But Devin Haney, I think that his punching power at 47 is going to play a factor in this fight as well. So we'll see. I think you think Norman's slow for Haney. I don't think he's slow, but I do think that Haney's faster. You know what I mean? So that's just what I think. Man, there's a lot of people picking Norman to win. I'm tapping in with the people. I'm seeing what they saying in interviews. I just heard Floyd Schofield and them say they think Norman gonna put Haney to sleep. Like, damn. I don't know though, man. We just gonna have to wait and see. But then I heard somebody, Boca Chica said that Brian Norman not a big puncher. He said that. He been in the ring with him. He said Norman not a big puncher. I don't know how to pronounce that name, brother, because your name look all crazy. But salute to you, brother. Thank you, man. Haney looks good at 47. Well, he has a technically – he fought at a catch weight against Jose Ramirez. That was technically a welterweight bout. But I think this is going to be the perfect weight for him. You know what I mean? Because I think Haney is a bit big for 40, but he's definitely not a 54. So I think he's going to have like that perfect – oh, that's G tatted up. You must have changed your name or something, brother. Because, I don't know. It's showing all these different, like, I don't know. Your name look weird on here. Let me check the comment section on my phone. Let me see. Section. Yeah, your name look crazy on here. I got to see Haney perform again. What you mean, Coffee? Oh, you gotta see. Oh, you saying you gotta see him perform again? Okay. Bella Face said, "Let's go, Atlanta." I mean, as you should, Bella, so was you rooting for Norman when that whole boot situation was coming around? Shout out to Bella Faith. I fuck with Bella Faith. These cats driving me crazy, bro. But I do think that 47 is going to be an ideal weight for Devin. You feel what I mean? Get the fuck out. Get out. Okay, it's fucking kids. Always when I'm on live. Never. They be dead quiet any other time. It's like they be thinking it's their time to show up. Bella out her fucking mind. You know damn well Brian Norman ain't beating no fucking Jerron Ennis. You crazy as shit. That's you must have not heard what happened when they was working. She definitely tripping. I think Brian Norman easy work for Boots. To be honest. Jen Sasaki. I think a lot of people gassing Brian Norman because of Jen Sasaki though. Like he did Jen Sasaki dirty. But we all know Jen Sasaki was never that. Was never that. When has he what notable opposition that he's beat to let us know, oh shit, he a problem. Like never. Nigga just worked his way up the ranks just like anybody else, beating, nobody notable. Got himself in a position. Brian Norman and them seeing that he was high. They smart because they seen that he was he was a high ranked guy, 47, especially I think in the Ring magazine or whatever the case was. He had a high ranking in the WBO, whatever. They watched him fight. They like, oh, this nigga get hit with everything. We punch hard. This shit really benefits us. So they was like, man, we about to do this nigga dirty, and we about to go to Japan to get a check. It just made sense all around the board. You know what I mean? You got a young champion in Brian Norman. Don't got that many. He just got elevated to full status champion, I believe, when Bud vacated. So it's like, all right, you know what I mean? We young. We don't need to take a dangerous fight right now with Jerron Ennis and them. They probably didn't want to cash out they got that early or put them in a dangerous situation this early in their career. Why would they take this fight at this current moment when they could take three easy fights that could probably be worth that one dangerous fight? You feel what I mean? So that's my personal interpretation of the situation. You fought Jen Sasaki. You know that he was a fucking heavy bag. Y'all seen that he was a ranked contender in y'all, John. So can't nobody really say that y'all technically cherry picking because that was a contender in y'all sanctioning body. So all around the board, it just worked out for y'all. Tailor-made style. You know what I mean? Good money. Ranked contender. I get it. And I already know what the Normans are thinking with this Devin Haney fight. Like, their calculations are obvious. They're smart calculations, but for people that actually know the sport of boxing or understand the business of boxing and how the way these guys began matchmake, you will understand why they took this Devin Haney fight, right? And Brian Norman Sr. already done told y'all that's not a harder fight than Jerron Ennis. And I understood exactly what he was saying because Haney has this style where he's not going to be really looking to beat the dog shit out you. You know what I mean? He just wants to win. Boots, he wants to win, but he actually wants to put a beating on you. And their approaches are totally different. One is like a finesser. One beat your ass, but could do it while having fun. You feel what I'm saying? Definitely hit the like button, y'all. Definitely hit the like button. So when they looking at this Devin Haney situation, for one, he's moving up in weight. Two, they seen that he could be hit in that Ryan Garcia fight. And they see that he could be hurt. They see that he could be knocked down. And as big punchers, if they see somebody get hurt or get dropped by another big puncher, that gives them confidence. That gives them reassurance, right? Then it was on the Riyadh season card. They're not going to get that type of payday anywhere else. So it made sense financially. They seen that Devin Haney may possibly be a damaged fighter. And they see some opportunities where they could land big shots on him. So as long as they feel like they could land their shots or do their damage, they're going to feel like they're in the fight. I get it. If he loses to Haney, he could come back and still fight Boots. I mean, if he's willing to go up to 54, possibly. I don't know. I think he had his opportunity to fight there. You know what I mean? I think he had the opportunity to fight Boots, and they chose not to. Bellaface said, we have different interpretations of the negotiations, and I think Stanionis was tailor-made for Boots. Bozy predicted a stoppage at 5 or under. I mean, Stanionis was tailor-made for Boots, but at the end of the day, Stanionis was one of the best welterweights in the world, and he had a world title. You know what I mean? So we going, you gotta give Boots his credit regardless of whether you felt like the guy was tailor-made or not. And there's gonna be great fighters who, have world titles or do some, groundbreaking things in the sport and end up being tailor-made for somebody. Looking back on this situation, Errol Spence was a great welterweight champion. Great welterweight champion, had 3 out of the 4 major titles. But at the end of the day, what happened? He looked like he was tailor-made for somebody like Terrence Crawford. Now, was this a damaged Errol? Possibly. But considering his style and what the fuck Terrence Crawford really thrives in, in boxing, Bud just looked like he had Errol number. Let me see. Eugene Pearson said, I want to ask you, when two opposite stances fight each other, what are some of the perks circling to the right as a southpaw? So if you're a southpaw circling to your right against an orthodox, you're pretty much taking their right hand away. You know what I mean? You're taking their right hand away, but there could be some disadvantages to circling to the right as a southpaw, because what if that orthodox most dangerous weapon is his left hook, like a Tito Trinidad? Is it really worth circling to your right? Because there's pros and cons to everything that you do. So a lot of people think that, when you're a southpaw facing an orthodox, that you're supposed to circle right. You're supposed to keep your lead foot on the outside. That's not necessarily the case all the time. You know what I mean? I've seen people step inside of southpaws. I've seen them step inside somebody's foot and still beat the dog shit out of them. Like, I've seen that happen. There's more than one way to skin a cat. It solely depends on the type of style that you have in front of you. You can have 4 southpaws and they all fight totally different. So, if there's somebody who, I feel like, let's say you got a pressure fighter, southpaw, or whatever the case is. You got a southpaw pressure fighter. Yeah, you want to keep stepping around. You want to keep, because as long as they reset and they're not going to be in position to implement their style. But then let's say you got somebody who's, like an outboxer, who really doesn't have an inside game. I'm going to tell my fighter to put his foot inside, that fighter's motherfucking lead foot. Step inside that opponent's lead foot and touch that motherfucking body. You know what I mean? Place them shots on the inside, break them down. You know what I mean? You got to approach everybody different. But since, on that specific question, if you're circling to an orthodox's right, if you're circling to your right as a southpaw going up against an orthodox, you're taking their right hand away. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. But that could be harmful, Eugene, because their right hand might not be their bread and butter, but the left hook is. Who do you think is better, Jesse Vargas or Mario Barrios? Well, then Jesse Vargas, he won a world title at 140. He lost to Tim Bradley. He lost to Mikey. But he beat Saddam Ali, right, to become world champion. Then he beat Saddam Ali to be world champion, or I'm tripping? That's a good one. I'm gonna say Jesse, but neither one of them I really look at as like upper echelon type of guys, because when they stepped up, they both lost. They pretty much like on the same level. But if I had to edge it to somebody, I think Jesse got the more. I think he got the more notable win. But Barrios got you, Danish Ugas. But he didn't beat. He beat Ugas coming off of an injury. So it's like, I'm gonna say Jesse. Your Dennis Ugas is a good win, but I don't know if I could really give you all the credit in the world for beating that version of Ugas. Yeah, that was Ugas with a broken orbital. Barrios re-injured the orbital bone. I'm gonna give it to Jesse. Let me tighten up on my Jesse Vargas history. I mean, he won the IBO. He won the WBO. Then he lost to Pacquiao. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like he got a draw with Adrian Broner. I was there. There was a lot of people in the building that thought Jesse Vargas won, and Broner like started too late. I'm gonna say Jesse though. Can anyone name 3 Mario Barrios wins? Ugas, he beat that. He beat Abel Ramos. wait, no, that was a draw. That fucking Russian dude at 140 that he beat. What the fuck was his name? And then he beat that white boy, that redhead boy. All right, he beat the dog shit out of him, bro. That's when Barrios was doing his thing, bro. It's like after he lost to Thurman, he was never the same. Never the same. I think yeah, he did beat Fabian Maidana. He did. But me off top, I'm thinking Ugas. What the fuck was that white boy name, yo? He had a weird name. He beat Ryan Carl. Was it Carl Ryan or Ryan? I think it was Ryan Carl. Man, he beat the shit out of Ryan Carl. Man, that shit had me hyped. I ain't even gonna lie. I remember that little. I think he was like a little redhead motherfucker. How did he become champion? Who you talking about? Who R3 Barrios became champion because he had the WBC interim. When he fought Ugas, that was for a WBC interim belt. And you know when he got elevated. He was elevated after Bud relinquished his titles. Really mess around and beat Barrios today? He definitely would. To be honest with you, and y'all motherfuckers keep thinking I'm playing. Like this shit, look how this shit's starting to come together, bro. I told y'all Rolly fuck around and be unified champion at 147. Y'all keep thinking I'm playing. Rolly been telling me from having conversations with him, that fight with Pacquiao not locked in yet. Like that's not a locked in fight. You know, that's something that's, you know, he still got options. He told you who his 3 options are. He said that his 3, and this is coming from his mouth, not mine. He said Barrios, Pacquiao, Ryan. Now, what do I personally think is going to happen? I don't think Ryan rematches Rolly. I don't think that happens. Golden Boy and them, they're going to block that. You feel what I mean? But then again, since this is his last fight with Golden Boy might line Ryan up with a Rolly fight just so he could lose again. Because that's exactly what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion. So I think PBC going to do an in-house situation with this one. Something's telling me that it might actually be Pacquiao, for real. But if I'm Rolly, I'm going for Barrios. Let's get that fucking title. Because that's how I think about it, right? Barrios, that nigga going to lose any fight now. Any fight, he going to get embarrassed. He going to fuck around, hang up the gloves. or move up to 54, one of them Jones, right? So before he loses, let me take that belt off of him. Let me go ahead and grab that title off of you, brother. I'm going to take that title off of you, become unified champion, because now I got the WBA and I got the WBA, right? I got the WBA and I'm going to have the WBC. Then I'll fight Pacquiao, because by then, Pacquiao will get older. Pacquiao only going to get older. So as every day goes by, it's going to benefit Rolly more. You feel what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, if you want to go straight into the Pacquiao fight and get you a bag, I mean, that's your prerogative. You feel me? We see a lot of niggas doing shit for money now. But me? Like, if I'm a part of Rolly team, I need that Barrios fight. Let's get this other fucking belt, and then we can fight Pacquiao in a unification fight after the fact. And I'm sure Pacquiao will be older in that fight than he will be in the Barrios fight. The older he gets, the more benefits Rolly. Conor Benn wants that fight. Conor Benn need to worry about Chris Eubank, because now he linked up with Bomac, and I know Bomac and them gonna come up with a crazy game plan. So, motherfucker better be on 10 toes and be worried about what's going on over there. But I'm hearing Conor Benn might be offered a world title shot at 54 against Barao. That's what I'm hearing. So what's going on with that? Barrios is an easy lick. He is an easy lick. Let's just keep it 1,000. And listen, like I said, I came up fucking with Barrios. I remember him in his early PBC days when they was calling him the Golden Boy. Niggas don't even remember that. And I actually became a huge fan of Barrios when he was at 40. I loved his hand speed. I loved his combinations, his body punches. Very, very sharp offensively. I actually gave him a lot of credit. He was actually one of my favorite offensive fighters. Not overall fighters, but offensive fighters coming up. Like, there's fighters that I really fuck with just from an offensive aspect. Like, I like how the way MarkMazuma put his punches together. Nasty. I had a fighter, Free Chris, man. Free Chris. He fought just like MarkMazuma. Like, I fuck with Lester Martinez. I like how the way Lester Martinez put his punches together. I got a fighter right now by the name of Joshua Ramos who fights a lot like Lester Martinez. A bit more defensively responsible, a lot more slippery, but offensively, Lester Martinez. You know what I mean? But there's fighters that Barrios was one of them. He was one of my favorite fighters just to watch. Like, I love fighters that get creative offensively, and Barrios used to be sharp, man. Super sharp. I don't know what this is with Barrios. I don't know if he just took a lot of damage in that Thurman fight and that Tank fight, back to back. So he been like, I don't know. I don't know if it's his coach. It could be just a mental thing, man. He probably got a couple dollars. He got a little bad bitch or whatever. So he felt like he ain't gotta do nothing. I don't know. Only he know. For real. But I know for a fact he don't respect his coach. And I've been saying that for a while now. I said that not too long ago. He don't respect his coach. Yeah, I'm not the type that yell in the corner. I don't yell at my fighters. Anybody that untrained under me, they know that. You know what I mean? I keep it real calm. You feel me? If there's some, I do bring the urgency in the corner if need be. But you're never going to catch me like going crazy. Like, Bob Santos told this nigga, bro, stop touching gloves with this nigga. Stop being friendly with the nigga. That's true. Like, fuck. Like, you in the ring with Pacquiao, you starstruck, you trying to get this nigga respect. And meanwhile, he just trying to punch on you. He don't think much of you. So why you thinking so much of him? Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? What he kept doing. He like, okay, then go. Tap Pacquiao gloves. Tap Pacquiao gloves. Man, fuck all that, bro. Fuck all that. You ain't here with me. I'm about to pack you and make sure you don't never come back to boxing. That would be my thing. Fuck him. Because if he had the opportunity, he sparked me. So why the fuck am I even playing with you? Listen, look, Teach. I'm gonna tell you this, Teach. He said, I heard that from multiple people. You guys really feel because Barrio's got a bad bitch, he's turning soft. I'm gonna tell you this, bro. Women have a strong influence on men, whether we like it or not. Women have a very strong influence over men. There's some niggas that are easier to detach from the wifey than others, but there's people that when they get very comfortable in a relationship, that's all they want to focus on. You feel what I mean? Women could be a real distraction, could be a huge distraction to the right man. I've seen niggas' careers get fucked up because they was too worried about a woman. I've seen niggas give up the sport of boxing to cater to a woman. I'm telling you that this is a real thing. Now, whether that's what's going on with Barrios or not, I don't know, but that could have a major influence on why he's performing the way he's performing. It could be. Women could be a crazy distraction. Alcohol could be a crazy distraction. Recreational drugs could be a crazy distraction. Family issues could be a crazy distraction. It could also be Barrios probably don't love this shit no more. I don't know. Or maybe his body can't, his body is breaking down. It could be a million and one things, Teach, but having a bitch that's being in a happy relationship can, make you lazy. It can distract you. You know what I mean? So it is a real thing. Being content with life can make you soft. Yeah, I'm telling you something good. I seen it with my own eyes. I've seen niggas leave their trainers that was doing really well for them because their girl didn't agree with that, didn't like their trainer. I seen it. I've seen people who were doing doing really well with this team of individuals in boxing. I'm telling you, but their woman was very toxic, very controlling, really manipulative, and had a major influence on the decisions that person made. And when the girl gets the yapping in the dude's ear, pretty much brainwashing him to believe that this trainer doesn't have the best intention, he left. And ever since then, he ain't been doing shit. Niggas is on TV, niggas is doing this, and that. Soon as they let a bitch control they state of mind or their decision making, now you ain't got shit going on. I'm telling you. Most people I know in prison is over a girl. Facts. And the guy that I was just talking about, Chris, that's why he's not enjoying his freedom right now. Over a whore. I'm gonna make sure he good when he come out though. He's a good person. He just got caught up in a fucked up situation. And when you young and you inexperienced and stuff like that, you could make some mistakes. You feel me? I know that. I made plenty of mistakes with women. That's a fact. Bella, I got a bit of a different opinion for Clarissa. I think Clarissa should retire. To be real, like, what the fuck? Like, really, what else is there to do? Shadesha Green, she'll beat the dog shit out of Shadesha Green. And that's a fight that could be made to go ahead. I mean, she had 68, you had 75. It is what it is. But it's like Clarissa, she too big to be fighting Alicia Baumgartner, the drug cheat, or Amanda Serrano, or Katie Taylor, or shout out to Cecilia Braga. She just retired after winning the world title. She's definitely one of the greatest women of all time. You know what I mean? She had her undisputed run as well. She did some great things in the sport of boxing. So congratulations to Cecilia Brækhus. But what I'm gonna say is, what is there to do? Like, seriously, if you Clarissa Shields, you done fucking dominated women's boxing. It's so crazy. Like, you light years ahead of these women. Baumgartner was set up. Is that what you want to believe, Dank Father? Let's not do that. Let's not do that. You giving drug cheaters an excuse. You don't know what happened, brother. You just know that she failed a drug test, so you can't even say that. How do you know that definitively? You can't be out here spreading false statements, brother. We can't do that. Clarissa is gonna try to join MVP and get those bags. It seemed like she's pretty loyal to Dimitri Salita, though. It seemed like she's a bit loyal to Salita, and I've never really seen her be, See, Dank Father, that's a problem, bro. Niggas be so filled with lust, right? That they willing to disregard their morals and their principles to uplift a bitch. And I got a problem with that, Dank Father. I ain't gonna lie to you. You need to get your head out the gutter, my nigga. She ain't the only she ain't the only one. She ain't the only pretty woman out here. There's pretty women in boxing right now that's living the clean lifestyle. I just find it funny that everybody give her the benefit of the doubt because she a woman. She a drug cheat just like Ryan. She a drug cheat just like Jaime Munguia, Canelo, Gerald Miller, Dillian White, Billy Joe Saunders, all them dudes. She's right with them. But because she shake a little ass or whatever, and she wearing the bikinis on the motherfucking yachts and shit, niggas don't care. That's 22 said, I'm ready for somebody to spark Baumgartner. Yo, to be real with you, she's not that good. She's really not. I would like to see her fight Amanda Serrano. Why they can't make that fight? Is Amanda gonna retire? What's she gonna do? You know what I mean? They need to go ahead and fight each other. They both under MVP. Are y'all trying to build Amanda Serrano? If y'all trying to build Baumgartner up a little bit, she already an undisputed champ. You don't need to be building her up no more. You know what I mean? Have her fight Amanda Serrano. You know what I mean? If Amanda Serrano lose, she could just go ahead and hang it up. You feel me? And if Alicia Baumgartner lose, she could always come back. I'm gonna keep it real. Like Baumgartner, she looked good. I'd be hating if I said she wasn't, but she not what y'all be piping her up to be. I don't know if it's because there's a lot of bitches out here that's just ugly in boxing, so y'all just see one and y'all just, bro. She's not even the prettiest female boxer in my opinion. I've seen a few. I ain't gonna say no names out of respect for the wifey, but I've seen a few female fighters that's prettier than her. DJ had Baumgartner looking basic. Who DJ? For a boxer, she valid. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like she not ugly. I'd be like I said, if I was to say she was, and it's like that's cap. Well, y'all gotta understand the type of trainer that Derrick James is. See, I feel like a lot of people, especially boxers, they hire coaches because they're popular and not because of what they specialize in. Derrick James has Baumgartner looking basic because he primarily focuses on the basics. If you watch Derrick James, everything that he teaches is textbook fundamentals. That's why they was calling Errol Spence the Tim Duncan of boxing. He's teaching you the proper mechanics on how to turn punches over, bringing the hands back, catching shots, jab first, touching the body, just textbook boxing. So, of course, he's always gonna look. He's always gonna have his fighters look basic. Like when he was dealing with Anthony Joshua looked basic. And at that time, Anthony Joshua needed basics because he lacked fundamentals. Jermell Charlo, he was an outboxer when he was with Rodney Shields. You know what I mean? Never really sat down on his punches. With Derrick James, you know, he taught him the proper mechanics on how to punch. Now he's a knockout puncher. A fundamental knockout puncher. Like everyone that goes to Reynoso. Yeah, like Teofimo when he was trying to join Eddie Reynoso team. Like you join Eddie Reynoso when your style is nothing like Eddie Reynoso. Nothing. But Teofimo Lopez will never get a great coach because his father has too big of an ego to let somebody else take control. I knew that shit was never gonna work. When I seen that T.O. Senior talking about, I'm gonna always be his lead trainer. Like Eddie Reynoso, I'm not about to collaborate with you, nigga. You're a nobody. Like you're a nobody. Why would he take second? Why would he be secondary trainer to you? He's Eddie Reynoso. This nigga done trained everybody in all the like many world champions. Why would he settle for you? You're nobody of importance for him to be like, you know what? I'm gonna let him take the wheel and I'm gonna let him. No, nigga, he trained Canelo, bro. The fuck had an undisputed champion. You didn't. Y'all was acting like y'all was undisputed champions. He actually trained the undisputed champion. It says, do you think Gabriela Fundora can become the first 14 division world champion? What the fuck? No. How would she be able to do that? So was she gonna start from 105 all the way to heavyweight? Is that what you're saying? Because I think female boxing, their heavyweight division is 175. So they don't beat 200 plus pounds. Like Clarissa, she's a heavyweight champion right now, and she be weighing 175. So I think in the female boxing, the heavyweight division is different than the male heavyweight division. So 105, 108, 112, 115, 118, 122, 126, 130, 135, 140, 47, 54, 60, 68, 75. So it's 15 divisions. No, she will not. She won't do that. Like, that's not going to happen. The closest you got to that was Amanda Serrano. Ain't no female. Nah. And Amanda got 7 divisions. You think Gabriela Fundora could go up to heavyweight and beat Clarissa right now? Fuck no. Her body not even built for that. See, those Fundoras, they're very skinny, light people. Very tall, skinny, light people that don't really look like they put much weight on. I've always heard that Fundora walks around close to his fight weight. I believe it. Because I've dealt with fighters personally who had similar frames. Like, for instance, I had a pro fighter by the name of Rashid Johnson. He fought at 47. He was 6'2", 6'2". Shout out to Rashid Johnson. He fighting November 1st out in Chester. But 6'2", welterweight. And will walk around 152, just like Floyd did. And they used to try to they used to be like, oh, he needs to be weighing in exactly at 47. That people like that was scared to fight him and shit because they would assume because he was so tall that he walked around heavy. but he never did. So he'd be like, okay, and then he'll actually come in like 145. So I was like, all right, so now what you gonna say? You know what I mean? So I don't think I'm saying all of that to say I don't think Gabriella Fondora, because she's tall, could put on a lot of weight. Some people are not built like that. Y'all never met people who are tall and they eat, and they don't put on no weight. Like my girl. This woman is every bit of, for a woman, she's tall, like 5'5", 5'6", right? And this girl like eat. She can't even get the 120 pounds. And she eat just as much as me. And look at me, I'm getting round than a motherfucker. I'm in the 190s right now. Like, it's just some people that could put weight on like that. And some people, other people can't. No, Fondoras, they not built like that. Like Fondora, he probably cap off his career at 160. I don't think he moved. He fuck around and probably stay at 54 the rest of his career. Probably just be a one division motherfucker like Hagler or something. He not going to put on that much weight, y'all. So when I hear that he a weight bully, it's like, nah, he probably a height bully, but he definitely ain't a weight bully. You know what I mean? Because I bet you his cuts ain't nowhere near motherfuckers who 6. I bet you, I'm willing to bet this. I bet you Keith Thurman gonna have a harder time cutting a 54 than Fondora. And he a foot taller than him. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. We ain't even get to none of our topics yet. Fuck it. You know what I mean? Who really cares? All right, man, let's sum it up. Coach Calvin said Lamont Roach was a nobody before the Tank fight. I didn't know that you would be a world champion and still be considered a nobody. That's just one. So I disagree with that. If you're talking about, if you're defining somebody in boxing as to being popular, then I guess, you know what I mean, you would have a point. But to me, to call somebody a nobody who was a champion before they fought your guy doesn't necessarily make sense to me. You feel what I mean? That's just my personal opinion. Now, if you're judging it, like I said, off of a popularity contest, so maybe in Coach Calvin's eyes, if you're not known, then you're a nobody, and if you're known, then you're a somebody. You know what I mean? I don't really judge that. If I feel like you're a nobody, it's because you haven't did anything notable in boxing or beat anybody notable. Lamont Roach has beat notable guys. You know what I mean? Actually, a common opponent in Gervonta Davis with Hector Luis Garcia. And he's actually done notable things like win a world title. So it's like, I don't know how you can necessarily call Lamont Roach a nobody. And if he was a nobody before Tank fought him, then that's you admitting that Tank fights nobodies. You see how that worked? So you going out your way. See, this is why Tank don't be liking these dudes to talk, because as they talk, they can't help themselves. Like they say things that make Tank look bad. That's why Tank be telling them to shut the fuck up. So you're saying that Lamont Roach was a nobody before the Tank fight. Okay, cool. Let's go off of what you're saying. So you're basically admitting that Tank fought a nobody. Like he gave a nobody an opportunity. What does that say about your fighter then, Coach Calvin, if you out here fighting nobodies? And the reality is y'all fought a nobody, and because he put damn near belt the ass on your guy where he should have won the fight. Y'all mad that he's a somebody. How about actually fighting somebodies? How about that? How about actually fighting a somebody that, you know, that y'all don't consider a nobody? There's no way y'all can say that Shakur Stevens is a nobody. Y'all can't say Devin Haney's a nobody. You can't say Tia Femo's a nobody. So why don't you fight those type of guys instead so you don't have them type of arguments? So, why? How is that? Then I went on to listen on to the interview and stuff like that. They said they was preparing for Lamont Roach. They said they was preparing. They were at first they were training for Lamont Roach. Then y'all changed your minds and chose Jake Paul instead. So that lets me know that you legitimately ducked the Lamont Roach. Now, we already knew that. But I don't think we all knew that he was actually preparing for Lamont Roach and then changed his mind in the middle of training camp or in the middle of working out. In the middle of getting back to the gym, he was like, you know what? Man, I ain't fighting Lamont Roach. Let me go ahead and take this Jake Paul fight. After a controversial draw, and y'all saying that he learned from Floyd Mayweather, I beg your pardon. I beg your fucking pardon. How did he learn from Floyd? When Floyd ever did some whole shit like that? See, niggas be shitting on Floyd because, y'all don't like his personality. I've been critical of him being a hater. All types of shit. Listen, there's a lot of negative shit that can be said about Floyd. But y'all gotta really get rid of this narrative that Tank learned from Floyd, or Tank studied his career. He doing what Floyd did, bro. Floyd ain't do none of that. If shit was relatively close, you already know Floyd was running that shit back. He was a true competitor. A true competitor, bro. Regardless of what the mainstream media says and all that. Golden State High I think that means highway. I don't know. Says Floyd didn't duck, but he cherry picked. Okay. I mean, I guess that could be said, especially like the Andre Berto and all that shit. I guess. Who you consider the cherry pick? Golden State? I want to hear who you call a cherry pick. Yeah, Floyd ran that shit back. So that lets you know that these niggas' characters is different. Because Floyd, was he about the money? Yes. Did he put the money first? Yes. Yes, there was a lot of shit that he did. Did he not fight certain guys? Yes. R3 says, I heard Oscar De La Hoya say that Floyd ducked the rematch clause, then had a fake retire. So this is what happened. So when Floyd fought Oscar De La Hoya, there was a rematch clause in that deal in Oscar's favor. That if he lost, they would have, I think, a year. I think the rematch clause was effective for a year. They would have to get the rematch done within 365 days. So I guess Floyd knew that. He beat De La Hoya. I guess he felt like he didn't need to fight De La Hoya again or didn't want to. So he stood out of boxing for a year and a day and then came back. Now, is that a coincidence? Absolutely not. He read his fucking contract, found a way around it, and continued on with his career. So, yeah, Oscar is telling the truth. That's exactly what happened. I think he came back and fought like Ricky Hatton or some shit. I remember that. I definitely remember that. He said no way Floyd read that. Well, somebody on his team did. De La Hoya said when he was on Shannon Sharp, when they rematch, he said Floyd would have won more cleaner. That's why he admitted that to me. Well, one thing I'm gonna say about Oscar is him and Floyd always had their back and forth. They don't really like each other. But Oscar is always giving Floyd his credit. Like I remember De La Hoya saying that he think Floyd was going to beat Pacquiao. You know, he just came out recently and was like, "Yo, I think Floyd, sharper than Terrence Crawford." You know what I mean? So he's always give Floyd his credit. I just think he don't like him as a person. I think he respects him as a fighter, but don't fuck with him as a man. Marissa said I might go to the Roach Cruise fight in December. Ooh wee. Ain't that in like San Antonio? But yeah, man, that was my response to the whole Calvin Ford situation. It's like I said, if you talk about in terms of popularity, I guess Lamont Roach would be a nobody, right? He also admitted that Tank was too friendly with Roach. You know what I mean? And he was also questioning Gervonta Davis's mentality going into fights. And I know that for a fact because he said in that interview that, when Gervonta, pushed Jake Paul or whatever the case is, he was like, "Oh, well, Tank still got a little bit left up in him." Now, when you say that, that lets me know that there's some type of doubt in your mind about Tank. Because if you truly believe that, he was still in the game mentally, then you wouldn't say that. You feel what I mean? Like you wouldn't come out and say, "Oh, he still got something left in him." If you know he's still on that type of time, you wouldn't even say something like that because in your head is like, "I always knew he had it, so why would I say that?" Oh, you live in the outskirts of San Antonio? Oh, okay, that's what's up, Marissa. I hope you get to go, and if you do, you know what I mean, send me some videos, send me some pictures. Yeah, that restaurant, yeah, that Lamont Roach John, that was great promotion. I love the fact that Lamont is he's making the most out of this moment. You know what I mean? And I think that's what Gervonta and Davis and them don't like. He don't like the fact that they're using this fight. He's using this fight to promote himself, or using that controversial fight to keep himself relevant in the sport of boxing. I also like how he tapped into the streaming world and is developing a fan base from there. Like we see Lamont Roach collab, like doing videos with some of the most popular streamers in the world, like I Show Speed. He ran into that kid somewhere. They got to talking back and forth. They created a viral moment. I don't know if he's done anything with Kai Sanat or nothing like that, but I've seen Lamont Roach on a few different streamers platforms, and they were dope. It was dope. Bella Faith back. She said, hard to pay $80+ for these PBC cards, and we just watched Crawford and Canelo on Netflix with a subscription. I definitely hear what you're saying, Bella. That's a fact. And the one time that I was gonna go live, I was gonna speak on that topic where like Sebastian Fundora and Thurman was gonna be for $75, a pay-per-view for $75. Kiss my motherfucking ass. Like, are you fucking serious? We're gonna spend close to a bean, $100. In Philly, a bean is $100. Close to a bean to watch an old, injury-prone, inactive Keith Thurman to fight Sebastian Fundora, who has ducked, who's been stripped of titles for ducking mandatories, avoiding elite level opposition like Terrence Crawford. You know what I mean? We just to see him fight Thurman. And I'm not saying that this won't be an exciting fight. It may very possibly be. But we called for all these different fights with Fundora. They said, fuck what the fans talking about. Now they giving us a fight that we didn't ask for. And they trying to charge us $75 for that? Shit. My boy Anonymous said, man, Lamont doing what he's supposed to part of the boxing game is promoting yourself, and he's doing well, and this giving Tank group is another thing to cry about. What a bunch of suckers. That's a fact. That's a fact. He turned nothing into something. So you gotta applaud Lamont Roach for that. You know what I mean? I love what he's doing. I hope he keeps doing it. And the more that he's able to tap those, the streaming world into boxing, the more it benefits boxing. Look at what all these streamers doing. Aiden Ross got this shit called Brand Risk, where he got like people boxing, and it's having a lot of success over in the streaming world. To be honest, I would love to be a part of that. Can I do some commentary on Brand Risk? Can I fight on Brand Risk? Like, I'm hearing they paying these motherfuckers 20, 30K to rumble. What? Shit. I will fight any nigga on that roster for that bread. I got a chronic illness. I ain't boxing in 7 years. Wow, and I'm fat and out of shape right now. I'm 190 pounds sitting on the sofa. Ain't worked out since my son been born. He 2 years old. What is we doing? Y'all come whoop my ass. Fuck is we talking about? I would love to be a part of that. But anyways, I'm seeing super hot fire on the jump, but I'm not a rapper. This nigga over here boxing. I would fight that nigga. I would dead ass fight super hot fire right now with no training. I would beat his motherfucking ass. Any of them. Even the dude who got boxing experience, he be punching on them, nobody. What's his name? Like, very scam likely. I'll fight that nigga and I will fuck him up. Promise you that. Would love to be a part of that. Swear to God. Y'all niggas laughing. I'm dead serious. Fight Dante's Boxing Nation. I don't even know what that. Man, I ain't hear about Dante in a minute. I want to see the boxing channels box each other. Shit. They not. I told y'all who I will fight. Not of you already know. They ever send that shit my way, I'll do it. Not only that, I'll fight that nigga in his hometown. Swear to God. That's on my son's life. I'll fight him. Beat his ass too. Like he stole something. I ain't forget about that, nigga. Any of these boxing channels, bro. Not my Philly brothers, though, man. Mark versus DDG. Ooh-wee. Yeah. I'll fight DDG, too. I'll definitely fight DDG. I'll clip him. I seen him box, too. He not no bitch, though. I like that about DDG. He ain't no hoe. I see that he a fighter, nigga. I'll stop him, though. I will really stop him. Bella said most of the boxing channel dudes probably don't even have gym memberships. Facts. I own a gym, so we good. I'll tell you what, if them niggas fight me, I'll let them train at my gym. Just don't come and train at the same time as me. You can come training early in the day. You know what I mean? Get your workout in. I'll let you train at my gym. Fuck it. You fight me, you can train at my gym. Mark vs. KO, I'll beat his motherfucking ass. Where he from? Texas? I'd love to go to Texas. I just got to get this weight off. I'm talking crazy, but I'm out of shape right now. I've been waiting for something to make me get up at 5 in the morning to go run, though. That's how he got mad at me, bro. He said, I don't know, KO got a chin. He definitely got a chin. That's the realest shit Dust ever said in his life. That boy got a chin. Facts. I don't know, bro. I'm gonna have to wrap my hands real carefully. You feel me? Cause Oh yeah, my shit gonna be fucked up. Oh, that shit gonna be like this. Fuck my whole wrist up on that nigga chin. Shit. I need a warm up. Do I? I don't know, man. See, because this the thing, like physically, like I haven't been training, but I'm in the gym every day. So like my mind is sharp. What illness I have? I have ulcerative colitis. Reese says, but I've been in remission for a while now. Reese says, what we on? No, we just talking about. I'm talking about niggas' asses I want to beat. Pause. In the YouTube boxing community. That's all. Now there's some people that I won't fight though. I got a lot of respect for my Philly brothers, so I ain't fighting none of my Philly brothers, man. You know what I mean? Philly. But yeah, we can get it popping. Mark versus Bradley Martin. That nigga big as shit. You try to get me lying. And then they go on the juice. I'm cool. What's my fighting weight? I would have to get down to like the 50s, bro. RC. So, like in shape, I'm gonna have to be like 155 around there. This nigga said petite. What the fuck? This nigga just called me petite? Manager Marty. This nigga just called me. Yo, somebody. No. This nigga just called me petite. Hold up. Stay right there, nigga. Let's go ahead and put this nigga in timeout for 5 minutes. I had to do it. I had to do it. He wildin'. This nigga just called me petite? Like that's a rumble. Like I might have to fuck you up, man. He said Mark versus manager Marty. Marty from Philly, so nah. Bella, that's just Reed being a troll though. Me and him speak damn near every day, so all he do is troll me. She said women are petite. Men should not be called petite ever. Yo, like, that's wild. Philly. But yeah, like 155. I don't think I can get lower than 55 though. So like 55, I'll be fast, powerful, feet be fast, conditioning be good. That's when I'm gonna be on my bullshit. Mark versus Randy Orton, man, y'all niggas trying to get me fucked up, bro. This nigga Marlon's terrible at matchmaking. This nigga said Bradley Martin. Then you said this nigga said Bradley Martin and Randy Orton. Y'all know Randy Orton got to be like 6'3", 6'4", 200-something pounds. Y'all niggas trying to get me put on a highlight reel or some shit, bro. I respect weight classes, nigga. I ain't bud. Shit, how tall is this nigga Randy Orton? That nigga is 6'5", and he weighs 250 pounds. Y'all niggas crazy. This nigga the size of motherfucking Anthony Joshua and them. That nigga the same size as AJ. What, AJ like 6'6", 240? Nigga, you crazy. You know these big niggas gonna punch on me. DDG probably the same height, same weight as me. That's perfect. Orton gonna hit Mark with an RKO. No, I'm cool. I ain't gonna lie. I would do that though. That's legendary. You get RKO'd by the man himself. That's legendary. I'll sell that shit and all. I'm like, oh. I be acting like I'm out cold. Like, swear to God. Mark versus Sebastian Fundora with a rehydration clause. You know what's funny, R3? If we were both to rehydrate, I guarantee I'd be heavier than him. So that would hurt me. From 55, if I rehydrate the right way, I'd probably be 170. That's like my prime weight. When I'm like 170, 165, 170. Yeah. I'll put on weight, bro. Fedora gonna put me on a 10-pound clause, right? Facts. That nigga no, that nigga too big. Man, nigga, you 6'6". I remember they were saying Fedora was 6'7". Now they saying he's 6'6". So he one of them. Yeah, I'd love to do that shit, bro. What y'all think about Bill Haney taking? I believe it too. Bill Haney taking Brian Norman's sparring partners, bro. First of all, my interpretation, I believe it. I genuinely believe that. You know, Bill Haney and them, they like to fuck with you psychologically. Marissa said, I know some people in the combative sports boxing here in Texas. That's what's up. Brock Lesnar. All right, y'all, man. Y'all don't fuck with me like that, bro. Y'all don't fuck with me like that. Y'all niggas trying to get me killed. That nigga Brock me on the juice. And plus, even if he ain't on the juice, that nigga is like a genetic fucking freak. Did you see this nigga daughter? Man, listen, I'm cool. Mark versus Brock Lesnar. I got Mark. Y'all niggas want me to die. I'm cool. I think y'all was gonna match make me with some like real fights. Dust 22 said, "Who you got in the Jake Paul Tank fight?" It's not a fight. I don't care, brother. No disrespect. You know I fuck with you, Dust. Don't give a fuck about that fight. Probably won't even watch it to be real. Depending on what I'm doing. What is that fight day? That's what. Let me see. Because if I don't have my son that weekend, it's a likelihood I ain't watching it. They are fighting November 14th. They fight on a Friday? Oh, wow. Okay. So November 14th falls on, ooh, that's on the weekend I don't have my son. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I might not watch this shit. Mark going out wrestle Brock. Bro, I'm gonna tell y'all niggas, bro. I was wrestling some nigga from Uzbekistan. When was that? Wednesday? Bro, he fucked me up, bro. His name is Sokru Ergashev, bro. This nigga from Uzbekistan. He a pro fighter, but you know, they come from wrestling over there. I try to wrestle this nigga, bro. Mind you, I'm stronger than a lot of the people, than the average person. So I usually be manhandling niggas. This nigga, bro, pause. This nigga did whatever he wanted with me. Pause. On some wrestling shit. This nigga got a full amount. This nigga put me like in the sleeper. I tapped. He let me go. Bro, like it was just like he sweeped me easy as shit. Mind you, I'm fighting for my fucking life. I'm like, bro, what the fuck is going on? And I was like, I had no success. No success, bro. Mind you, I'm won national titles in wrestling, bro. I'm not like no flunky. But this nigga literally did me dirty, bro. Like, pause, like, draw. So y'all niggas say I'm gonna out wrestle Brock fucking Lesnar? He said all you had to say, all you had to say was Uzbekistan and Dagestan, and we know who most likely won. Facts, bro. At Uzbekistan, not even like I don't even want to know what a Dagestanian do. Like on some real shit, bro. Like that nigga draw. Let me see. I think right here, y'all see this, nigga. This scar right here. That was from me. That was from rug burn, bro. From this nigga having me on the floor in the gym. He fucked me up. He fucked me up. Like that was an experience for sure. Lesnar a state champion. See, the difference is when I won a state title, I was young, bro. I had to be like 10 years old. You know what I mean? So I don't even really, that's why I don't really talk about that wrestler shit, because it's like, all right, like I won state titles, but I did it when I was a preteen. So it's like, fuck, that ain't even nothing to brag about. I was in the newspapers and all, bro. My mom still got them Johns. But yeah. Anyways, Bill Haney over here taking Brian Norman's sparring partners. Brian Norman came out and said that on Mill City's channel or whatever the case is. Now, this is my interpretation of the situation. I had somebody reach out and ask what I thought about that. Psychological warfare, bro. That's what it's looking like. Bill Haney, he a troll. He'll do whatever he can to have some type of edge on you, even if it tugs at your emotions or whatever the case is, man. They've been real quiet, but you better believe that they watching them Normans very closely. You know, them moles in the camp, that be a real situation. Like they get information, bro. That yes, R3, they play the mind games. They'll do whatever they can to get you. And you know, it's not only mind games, they genuinely don't want you to do well in camp. They don't, because they understand that the better the camp that you have, the better the likelihood that they will beat you. Now they'll come out and be like, "Oh, I want the best version of so and so." They really don't, especially at a high level. They really don't. Like, remember when Floyd Mayweather, he was leaking all the information in Pacquiao camp after he beat him? He was like, "Yeah, 2 days, 3 days, 5 days before the fight, Pacquiao boxed 4 rounds. He did this, and that." Nigga had the whole fucking script for what Pacquiao did in the lead up to Mayweather's fight. Why is that? Because at the high level, they're tapping, they watching everything that you're doing. Ain't nobody safe, bro. Ain't nobody safe. There's gonna be a mole in your camp, whether you like it or not, especially if you bringing in sparring partners. You know what I mean? Like, you might be paying them, but they're not loyal to you, because they're going to take that bread from you in that sparring session. Then they going to go back and tell everybody what they done did to you. And let's say there's a situation where, like you sparring me to get ready for a fight, and then Bill Haney and them like, "Yo, we send you a couple thousand on CashApp right now if you tell us what's been going on in his camp." Niggas is gonna do it. Like, niggas is gonna do it. They gotta feed their family. So if they gotta play a mole in order to make a couple dollars, that's what they gonna do. Like, I want this person to train. You can't say, like, as a Haney, if this is true, of course. Brian Norman said it, but I don't know. The Haney's never confirmed. But it's like, you can't say you want the best version of this person, but you're paying sparring partners to not work with them. If you're paying these guys to not work with Brian Norman, it's because you don't want them to do well. You don't want them to train well. You don't want them to prepare properly. You feel me? And listen, it is what it is. This is an individual sport. So of course you only worried about you. Your main concern is yourself. And part of being, part of being concerned with yourself is making sure that you're in the best position to win. So yeah, Marlon, win by any means. It is what it is. You know, y'all getting, them Normans getting paid well for this fight. You know what I mean? I might have to. I don't know if y'all could go band for band with the Haneys. I don't know what they got, but you gonna have to figure something out. You are gonna have to figure something out, man. Go ahead to figure something out because I'll tell you what, y'all not beating Haney with no sparring. So take that for what it is. Like that one dude who had broke Ryan ribs, wasn't he a mold for Tank? They were saying he was, but I don't think it was him. There was people that were saying that it was actually Joe Goosen, his own trainer. They were saying it was his own trainer that was being a mole in the camp. And you got to look at it this way. I don't know who it was, right? Joe Goosen was training Ryan for a PBC fighter. Joe Goosen was a commentator for PBC. His family is like the main promoter for PBC events. TGB, Tom Goosen, Brown, they're all connected. You know what I mean? Brittany Goosen, I believe Brittany Goosen is Joe Goosen's niece or some shit like that. So he is connected with the PBC, Joe Goosen. So I'm pretty sure Joe Goosen was going back and telling his family what Ryan had going on in camp or whatever the case is. And them PBC niggas went and told Tank. That's what I believe. Now, I could be wrong. I don't know. That's water under the bridge these days, but I don't know. That's if I had to point the finger at somebody, which I wouldn't do, but like if I had to be suspicious about one person in particular, it'll be Joe Goosen, just based off of that PBC relationship he has and training a fighter who's not with PBC against a PBC fighter. Like, I don't know. R3 said, if Norman brings in Ryan Garcia, it's a checkmate in terms of mind games, in my opinion. First of all, I highly doubt Ryan Garcia would ever be a sparring partner for anybody. I think when you're an elite level fighter, you're just not going to go to somebody's crib and just spar them. There is some rare instances like Bruce Canelo, Shane Mosley, De La Hoya, and shit like that. But, yeah, man. I don't see that happening. But that's the thing. Even if Ryan Garcia sparred Brian Norman, Ryan Garcia not going to get you ready for Devin Haney. Like, it's not going to happen. Like, they two totally different types of fighters. Why do some people do that? Some sucker shit. Is there a reason? You got to, how much Brian making this fight? I don't know. I don't think they really want you to know neither, though. And I never really cared too much about that. Why do some people do what? Yeah, sir, you gotta. We talking about a lot of things, so you got to be specific. But that's if the Haneys are doing that, like if that's leaking shit in camp, I don't know, man. Like it could be. Y'all sir, it could be a situation where some niggas is looking for some type of attention, some sort of clout to get their name off the ground. It could be because they're getting paid to, release information. It could be a lot of shit. I don't know. Everybody got their own reasons, but most of the time, for probably is either for attention or money. And both could be highly addicting. They say money is the root of all evil. You could say attention is is the root of evil as well. If they would get anyone, they would get like Hitchens or something. Yeah, Hitchens they have similarities. The thing is about sparring though, y'all, it's like
you're not gonna get one person that's gonna be able to give you the same fucking look. Like the norm is they're not gonna have one person that's gonna be able to do everything exactly like how Devin Haney does. But you might be able to get 3 or 4 sparring partners that are able to give you different things that Haney does, if you feel what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So let's say Devin Haney got a good jab. You might find a sparring partner who, has that same type of jab, but he might not have the hand speed that Devin Haney has. So then you got another sparring partner that has crazy hand speed, but they might not have a foot speed. So then you got another sparring partner who has really fast feet. Then you might have another one who, but he may have fast feet, but his counter punching is ass. So then you got another one that's a good fucking counter puncher. You know what I mean? So you gotta, if Devin Haney has 4 major attributes who makes him who he is, you might not be able to find one guy who's able to do all 4 things, but you might be able to have 4 sparring partners that do that one thing as well as him. You know what I mean? So you gotta think about it, that way. And then there's some people who, take this approach where it's like, I don't really care about what dude do. I'm gonna just focus on what I do well. Like I'm gonna just focus on me. You know what I mean? So like Errol Spence and them, they say that, like let's say they fight in the orthodox, they'll still spar southpaws, they'll still spar orthodox because, they're not necessarily worried about that particular opponent. They're just worried about improving their crafts overall. You know what I mean? So people got different approaches in camps, bro. There's camps that are solely devoted to that particular opponent. Then it's like, then you have camps as, I'm focused on me type shit. I'm improved like this. My whole training regimen is around improving myself, not preparing for that specific person. You know what I mean? There's different approaches. Errol Spence was like sparring southpaws in the lead up to like the Mikey Garcia fight and shit like that. It was one of those early fights he had. Yeah, I trained the same. I box the same southpaws, but like they don't really change up the sparring or anything like that. But yeah, you got any last questions before we get up out of here, y'all? Let me know. Let me see. Hitchens will be good work for Norman in terms of, the rate, like the reach, the jab, the outboxing, stuff like that. But Haney is, in my opinion, more fluid offensively. I think he got more tricks up his sleeve offensively than Hitchens. I think Hitchens is like a basic. The basics could kill, so this ain't me diminishing, Hitchens' skill set or anything like that. But I think his offense is basic. What do you think about JoJo coming down from 143 to fight Kid? I think it's that's 22 asking this question. I think it's obvious that Floyd Schofield and them popping all this big shit. Like I see them saying, "Oh man, Shakur, that's gonna be a garbage fight between Shakur and T.O. They should fight us." It's like I love how y'all niggas just try to ignore the past and like what happened. Like Shakur gave y'all an opportunity, bro. Now whatever happened, happened. You feel what I'm saying? Y'all didn't pull out the fight. The British Boxing Board of Control pulled y'all out. All right, cool. But stop acting like Shakur was the reason why y'all didn't fight. It was y'all. Y'all was the reason why y'all didn't fight. You feel me? But I just think it's very apparent at this point that they just trying to build Kid. You know what I mean? Like they just trying. They building him right now. They don't really feel like he's, ready for the world champions yet. That's just my personal opinion. You feel me? I feel like if they truly believed in their abilities of getting a world title right now, they would have been, they would have been trying to fight somebody or, do like a final title eliminator. Like y'all fighting JoJo Diaz, bro. Like, and plus y'all niggas done sparred before, so y'all comfortable with that. Y'all also was speaking on, man, listen, I'm gonna keep this shit simple. They they know that JoJo ain't got shit left. No, Marlon, I think Hitchens is actually pretty good. I just don't I'm not a big fan of his character. Yeah, Ralph, he over here talking about he should have fought us. It's like, nigga, he did try to fight y'all. What happened? Y'all niggas, if y'all didn't know any better, if y'all ain't do y'all research, y'all be like, damn, that nigga Shakur, is Shakur ducking? Oh, there's fight posters with y'all names on them. Y'all was supposed to rumble. They talk about niggas from Shakur team poisoned y'all. Y'all said niggas stole the signature page off y'all passport and Shakur and them called the SWAT and y'all said y'all got proof. That nigga always say he got proof, but don't ever show nobody shit. Should be hilarious. If I tell a nigga, yo, I see you break into my car, man. I see you stole that watch out my car, nigga. You know what I mean? I got proof. Okay. Show me the proof. Like no man, no, we got poison. I got proof, and oh I got proof that the cops is gonna arrest me, and they put something in my car. They slashed the tires in my car. It's like nigga, what is you talking about? This nigga sound like a whole schizophrenic, acting like niggas is out for him. What does what Roach have to do to become the face of boxing? He needs to continue promoting himself how he should. And he needs to keep winning. It's a pretty simple formula, y'all. Like the recipe to becoming like the face of boxing, you have to keep winning big fights, and you have to keep your name out there. You got to maintain some type of relevance. You got to master the art of attaching your name to everything that has to do with boxing. You feel what I mean? So as long as Lamont keeps promoting himself how he's been doing, and tapping in with the streaming world, because Floyd had his version of doing that. He went on the WWE, which was a huge platform. Then he did Dancing with the Stars, which was another huge platform. That was his social media at the time. You know what I mean? So Lamont, he on social media creating these little funny little promotional skits. He tapping in with the streaming world. He doing what he need to do. He just gotta now. It's just he was able to get the people's attention with the Tank controversy. Now you have to fight Isak Cruz. You have to beat him. Because it's cool when you fighting Javante Davis because y'all grew up together. You familiar with him. You know what he can and cannot do. But you don't really know Isak Cruz that well, brother. Like you don't know what it's like to be in there with him. You moving up in a weight class you never been in to fight him. It's time to really show who you are. You know what I mean? And if you get and I think that's gonna be a dog fight. I think both them niggas gonna come out thumping. We know what Isak gonna do, and Roach got a lot of heart. He ain't no hoe. And I know that he got even more reassurance of his ability to take a shot after the Javante fight. So it's like, he probably gonna step the pit bull. You feel me? So we'll see. That's what he has to do to become the face, though. Keep winning, keep showing personality, keep promoting yourself. You keep doing that and you keep winning at an elite level, They ain't got no choice but to acknowledge you. Roach is technical, bro, in my opinion. He's definitely the more technical fighter. He's technical overall, and he's definitely more technical than Eastside Cruz. The problem is he does have some pretty solid defense as well, especially in the pocket, so that could hurt Eastside. But because he's going to be deciding to plant his feet in the pocket, that's going to give Eastside some opportunities to possibly land some shots. And Eastside Cruz does have power. And when Roach coming up in weight, that might have an effect. That might be a thing. You said change that last name, bro. What you talking about? What's going on, DOG? What you mean change the last name? What you talking about? Did I say something wrong? I'm confused. What about Roach? I'm confused, brother. But anyways, do I think Tank gonna run it back with Roach? I mean, he had the opportunity to and he didn't. So I don't know. I don't know, man. Coach Calvin doesn't feel like Tank is gonna retire. Anonymous believes Tank's gonna fight Pacquiao next. That's definitely a money grab. And to be real, Tank was talking about fighting Pacquiao years ago. Years ago. I don't know if y'all remember that. He was watching, I think he was watching Broner and Pacquiao, and Tank was talking about he wanted that smoke with Pacquiao. Oh, that last name ain't good for being the face of boxing. That's funny. I wouldn't put it past Tank. I think he definitely will fight Pacquiao. You know what I mean? Not the Pacquiao who fought Broner though. But I think he'll definitely fight Pacquiao. This version of Pacquiao, he definitely will fight. You know, age his ass out like he did the Loma. Loma read the play, was like, man, I'm out. Man, I'm out. Fuck this nigga. You want to fight me now? No, I'm out. Fuck this nigga. Yo. He said he will get Pac out of there. I mean, yeah, this Pac, yeah, sure. I ain't really saying nothing. He pushing 50. Yeah. Yeah, my beard growing crazy. I can't wait to get my hair cut, bro. Shit. I forgot what I was even talking about. Oh yeah, Eugene was talking about Roach is technical. He's definitely technical, great defense, especially in the pocket, and he throws punches in between. So he definitely has some things that he specializes in that's gonna give Eastside Cruz some trouble. But the fact that he's gonna be like a sitting duck for Eastside Cruz, it's gonna give him opportunity. So unless he has like a perfect fucking like fight defensively, he's gonna give Cruz some opportunities. And I think that's the only reason why Eastside Cruz wants that fight with Lamont. Because he watching Lamont, he's like, oh, this nigga like to sit and bang. All right, bet. That's all Eastside Cruz need to see. The moment he see you pick his feet up, the moment that Eastside Cruz see you pick your feet up or you show some type of boxing ability, oh no, I don't want to fight him. He's bored. He don't want them. He don't want the problems for real. Pac, you can just rematch Barrios and fight Rolly. I would like to see Pacquiao and Rolly fight. You know what I mean? Yeah, bro, I'm serious. The moment that Eastside Cruz see you move them feet, he like, oh yeah, no, never mind. Like shit, I gotta go look for this nigga. I'm already 5'2". I gotta go look for this nigga too. Shit. Eugene says it's crazy to me that people have the opinion of boxers using their legs is boring. Fighters, you got 12 rounds. Why not use legs? There's plenty of time to work. I mean, I agree. And I think that your legs are an important part of your boxing. So I just find it weird that people act like using your feet is like a sin in the sport, or it just equates to not being entertaining. I don't understand that shit at all. Me personally, I appreciate the science. I like seeing people box. I like seeing people set punches up, utilize feints, control range, use a jab, place good body shots, counter punching. I like to see all of that. So I'm just a fan of the sport overall. I can enjoy even if I don't find your style to be the most entertaining, you know, I can learn to appreciate what you're doing because I've been through it. I know how difficult it is to be in there. You feel me? So when I see people using their feet, bro, that take us to be able to do that for 12 rounds, bro. That's very impressive because using your legs it utilizes a lot of energy. You know what I mean? So you gotta respect the work ethic behind that shit. And nowadays they just want you to sit and play rock'em sock'em. And it's like that's not the name of the game, brother. For all that, you just need to go do some bare knuckle shit. Esau Cruz would be perfect for bare knuckle. Um, I just want to see niggas get hit upside their head. They go watch them slap competitions. You know what I mean? The game is hit and not get hit. You're absolutely right, Chris. Munyon says, not trying to be that guy, but Cruz is dead ass your standard Mexican fighter. Only hook, zero technique. Roach gonna make light work of. I don't even want to say standard Mexican fighter because I feel like that just creates this stigma about Mexican fighters that they just brawlers and they not intelligent. I see plenty of intelligent Mexican fighters, past, past and present. You know what I mean? Like Juan Manuel Marquez, intelligent, uh, counterpuncher. You feel what I mean? Canelo, he definitely has some intelligence. You know what I mean? Like he not no idiot in the ring, and that's a present fighter. We go back to Salvador Sanchez. You feel what I mean? Like Oscar De La Hoya. Like Oscar De La Hoya wasn't no fool. I know he was a Mexican American, but you know, I'm gonna say that he's like a typical brawler. I guess you would say. I just wouldn't put that Mexican term in it because it's like I'm sure you could find a white fighter who fights like Eastside. You can find a brawling ass black fighter that fight like Eastside. I'm just not gonna say that's a standard Mexican fighter because a lot of Mexicans I know are, especially at a high level, they're intelligent. I think the cool thing nowadays is to say that like if somebody's like lacking IQ in the ring and they just come forward pressure and they happen to be Mexican, oh, that's a Mexican fighter for you. It's like I don't know. I don't really subscribe to that. Bam says Bam. Yeah, definitely. One thing I'm a fan of now is how you would wait. Is how you would continuously go to your opponent's weak side. They call it turning, right? Well, you could turn in either direction. You feel what I mean? But yeah, that's a good tool to use to really neutralize somebody's best ability. So, like for instance, if you fighting, let's say you fighting Adonis Stevenson, right? Nigga, you better not as an Orthodox, you better not circle to your right unless you want to get your fucking lights put out. You feel what I'm saying? Like, wait, if you fighting, yeah, you walking. Yeah, if you going to your right against Adonis Stevenson as an Orthodox, you pretty much asking to get your fucking lights put out. So you better circle. You better circle to your left or whatever the case is. You know what I mean? Because you definitely want to turn to that opponent. You want to go to your opponent's weak side for sure. What other big fights do you think can end up being on Netflix? I mean, any of the big fights that's being backed by Turkey Al-Sheikh could definitely happen. Um, I don't even know if we got like many big fights because like the thing about Netflix is they'll do it, but it has to really make sense for them. Like it has to have like that casual boxing fan attention on it. So like Crawford Canelo, they did it in all honesty because it was two big names in the sport of boxing, and it was backed by a nigga who got a shit ton of money in Turkey Al-Sheikh, right? Cool. And plus like Dana White and all that good shit, right? Cool. Jake Paul Tank, that's entertainment. Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, that was entertainment. Y'all see where I'm going with this? It either needs to be like a fucking huge boxing event, like fight, or it just has to be like an entertainment type of fight. You know what I mean? So I think that's the type of time that Netflix is on. So with that being said, probably Floyd and Mike Tyson will probably be on Netflix. If they're still doing that. I don't know. I don't think any I don't think Netflix is just gonna pick up any fight. That's for sure. It needs to be either like a entertainment type of fight that's gonna garner a lot of attention from casuals, or it just has to be like a fucking super mega fight in boxing for it to be on Netflix. Fury versus Joshua would 100% be on Netflix. That true. I can see that being on Netflix. Yes, especially if it's backed by Turkey, they'll do it. This is gonna be the last one, y'all. I can see Wilder versus Ngannou being on Netflix. They could promote the shit out of it. Yeah, yeah, I do think. I think after the Robert Helenius fight, that would have been a huge fight on Wilder's end. I think that would have had a lot more people excited. Um, yeah, that's definitely a Netflix fight for sure. They definitely could promote that as like the two biggest punchers in the world right now. Wilder being the biggest, even though I don't think he is anymore. I think that you could promote it as like Wilder, one of the biggest punchers in boxing history, and Ngannou, one of the biggest punchers in MMA history, going up against each other in the boxing ring. Whoever lands first type. This fight not going the distance. I can see that happening. Benavidez versus Canelo could happen on there, but that should never happen in effects. But I'm gonna get up out of here, y'all. I appreciate everybody that came through and show love as always. If y'all can go ahead and hit the like button on the way out, that'll be very much appreciated. We on the road to 4K, well into the 3,100 mark. About to hit that 3,200 mark in due time. I appreciate everybody that came through and showed love. You feel what I mean? I'll be back at y'all with another live 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to continue cooking up on what's going on in the sport of boxing. Let's get to that 4K mark, y'all. Let's hit that 3,200 mark, y'all. Let's get it. I appreciate you guys very much. We're going to continue cooking up on boxing tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that one. Until then, I'll holla at y'all, man. Peace.